Hi, everybody. We are back for another holiday episode of Commerce Today. This is episode 152, and we're looking at B2B quotes from call to pricing to click to quote, how to fix B2B e-commerce quoting. So I actually have a client. I'm not going to name names on this one. I know on the last episode we named names, but I'm going to keep it simple, keep it anonymous. Had a client that when we first started working with them, I did some user interviews trying to understand how people were currently using their e-commerce site. And they were so excited because they had launched e-commerce. They'd even tied it into their ERP, but it honestly wasn't great. And so I talked to a buyer, one of their customers, that actually would build out a cart online, take a screenshot of it, send it to their sales rep at this brand, and use that to negotiate. Once they got something built out that they like, they take another screenshot, send it to their procurement department to get a PO issued. So the site, basically, it was not really helping. PDF could have done that. A paper catalog, honestly, could have done that. And one of the people that I talked to that was involved in the build of this site actually said, hey, screenshots are at least better than faxes, right? And I'm thinking, yeah, at least you're cutting down on how much is getting faxed back and forth. But the whole point of e-commerce and digital is to make this as seamless as possible. And this is so important because we've had so many episodes talk so much about millennial buyers and now especially Gen Z buyers that are entering the workforce and are getting promotions into key buying roles. They just want to get this done. They're used to buying online. They're used to interacting online. They don't want to fax you. They don't even want to email you. And they especially don't want to pick up the phone and call you. However, I still see so many B2B sites that will launch an e-commerce initiative that still requires you to call for price, that still puts pricing behind not just a login wall, but actually a phone call. And sometimes, it's getting a little better. I used to hear a lot, oh, we got to get them on the phone so our salespeople can really sell them and negotiate with them. And brands are realizing that's not really how it works anymore. Now I see it's really technical issues. It's brands that are saying, oh, our pricing is too complex. Our approval workflows are too complex. Different brands have special pricing. They have maybe freight shipping that's involved, some complex tax rules. And you got to figure this stuff out. You absolutely have to figure this out because you have, as a B2B brand, so much pipeline going dark between when they submit a request for a quote and when someone finally gets them a quote. They're going to instead just buy from someone else that has the entire process online. If you go back to some of our AI episodes earlier this fall, we even saw how there was an AI browser that was able to find me a B2B supplier that could deliver a literal ton of metal rebar to a job site in Plano, Texas within a week. The entire process could be done online, order could be placed online, freight shipping and all. So that is really what people expect now. Now, you're not going to jump from faxes to that. So I really look at 4 different levels of B2B quoting maturity. So first level is that static catalog, PDF price list, manual quotes. Hopefully most of you watching or listening have moved beyond that to level 2, which is an online request a quote system with saved carts and tracking. But really you want to get to level 3 or level 4. Level 3 is when you have logged in pricing tiers with very quick quote from cart. Basically, if companies bought from you, they have negotiated pricing with you, or if your pricing gives volume discounts, things like that, that absolutely should be programmed into your e-commerce platform. And once a customer logs in, they should be identified as having access to that specific pricing. They should actually be able to build a quote and either place an order online or save it for approval without ever having to interact with anybody, talk with anyone. Level 4 then is bringing in negotiated terms, contract pricing, and then maybe even considering adding API access for your best customers so that they're able to maybe not do the full order placement, but at least get pricing, maybe build out quotes and things like that via API. Now, that's a lot. And I mentioned in the last episode, these holiday episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit quicker. I know everyone's tired. You're either working on the B2C side and you're just overwhelmed this time of year, or you're working on the B2B side and you are ready for the holidays. So keeping it simple, give you a real quick 90-day quick win plan that you could implement in Q1 of 2026. First of all, go through your site, remove that call for pricing wall on anything that could at least show a price range. Sure, gate it behind a login. I know there's a lot of brands out there that they feel like their pricing is proprietary. They might show a public price, but then require a login and kind of be tied to a specific account to see a better price. But the worst experience you can provide, the worst thing you can do is make customers log in and then they still just see a message that says call for pricing. Figure out why that is and find the simplest way to fix it in the next 90 days. Next up, add a save quote functionality so that when someone goes to a cart, they can actually save it to a quote. Ideally, if you're using a platform like Adobe Commerce, their B2B module will actually allow you to share an order you want to place with an approver. So having a functionality like that as well to help customers walk through the approval process internal to their company, but on your e-commerce platform can be a big win. And then also start capturing structured data from quote requests. So things like industry, deal size, segments, so you can prioritize which flows to automate next. And I've even seen some really smart ways of automating pricing based on that kind of segmentation. If you can start bucketing your customers based on some attributes that are on their account, it can make it so much easier to offer that customized pricing online. All right, that is our second of these kind of fireside holiday quick episodes. We got 2 more left. Next up, we're going to talk about what to do when your site just broke. It's a 5-step incident playbook for e-commerce teams. And then after that, we will be looking at Beyond One and Done, a simple ladder for subscriptions and replenishment. Again, my name is Joshua Warren. I'm the founder of Creatuity and your host here on Commerce Today. Would love it if you would find me on LinkedIn, send me a connect request, send me a DM, or go buy my book, The E-Commerce Growth Playbook, through the link on LinkedIn.